What's that stand for, Thuy?
Thuy and Edith argue.
We don't argue.
Yes, we do.
Don't argue. How's your week been? Good? Did anything interesting?
Since the last time I saw you?
Yep.
Well, I invited you to do the Spartan race with me. It was a short one, but of course, Edith has excuses, so she did not join me.
Unfit. It's a good excuse.
You could be in any shape, any condition, and you could still do it. It was a Spartan sprint. It was a 5K with 22 obstacles. I was able to complete 19 of them.
Oh.
I mean, I completed them all in the sense of that if I couldn't do it, or if I tried it and not, finish, then you have to do burpees or you do a penalty loop. And while you do the penalty loop, you maybe like carry a sandbag or carry like kettlebells while you do like a little 50-meter walk.
Okay.
Adds to your...
Yep.
It adds salt to the wound because like the monkey bars, holy cow.
Yeah, it's not my favorite. I could never do them.
Right.
Never.
So, but 19 out of 22 is not bad.
Not bad at all. Well done.
Thanks.
Maybe I'll do the next one with you.
You said that last time.
Did I?
Yeah.
Well, maybe I'll do the one after that.
So I did a Spartan sprint over in West Palm, and that's a nice place. I think that when I have more time, probably visit that area. It has like nice beaches, but I wasn't able to explore it,
Yeah.
So
Yeah, cool. I went to see Kenny Chesney this weekend. Well, Kenny, Zach Brown band. I went obviously because Zach Brown were playing. So,
nice.
But he was opening up for Kenny Chesney, so it had to be something good. Uncle Cracker came out first, Megan Maroney, then Zach Brown, then Kenny Chesney. And I got a little too intoxicated. Yeah, terrible. So I might be looking for a new man. Tony might dump me after my behaviour. Any tips on dating?
That sounds like a typical weekend for you, not just this weekend.
No. Just got a little hand. Anyhow, it was so much fun. I had such a good time.
Right.
Till the end. But it was great. The concert was fabulous.
When was the last time you were on a first date?
Oh, I have no idea. Over 8 years ago, when I got together with Tony, obviously.
Right. Okay.
It would have been with Tony, our first date. My first date with Tony.
Do you like going on first dates? Like, do you look forward to them back when you were dating?
Yeah, I suppose. It's kind of exciting, right? If you're going out on a first date.
Yeah.
It's a little bit of excitement.
It's nerve-wracking.
It can be, I suppose. It depends on whether, okay, so you could know somebody and go on a first date with them, right? Like, you've known somebody for forever and then you're going out on a first date.
True.
Do you think that would be as nerve-wracking?
Maybe because the premise is different.
Right.
I think I did that like a couple of times, and I mean, you're not as nervous, but it's a little bit alleviated because you kind of know a little bit about them.
All right, yeah, I suppose so.
But I was kind of thinking about it, not that I'm getting a divorce or anything, but it's funny because sometimes like I'll be sitting around at home, and I'm eating something messy. And it's like spaghetti or it's like wings and you have to like really dig in there. And we have like an inside joke. We'll look at each other. We're like, oh, it's definitely not first date food. That's like one of our phrases. Right. And then I would say it and then he'd be like, how many more first dates do you plan on going? Like, why do you keep saying that? Like, do you plan on going on another first date? So it's like our little inside joke now. But right. We'll eat something messy or do an activity. Like, oh, definitely not first date food. Not first date activity or whatever, right? Mm-hmm. So we have that and then it kind of like makes me think and pause for a little bit, like, I don't know, because I haven't been on a first date in like a while.
Right.
And kids nowadays, I see like some of the young people, the way they, I don't want to say like pick up each other, but the way they court and woo, it's totally different. I mean, they have these apps and stuff where they're like, hey, and then they just exchange numbers. And that's just their way of like exchanging numbers to initiate contact. It's not like where the guy has to actually build up the courage and ask for a number. Do you know what I mean?
So they just do it all on the phone? Like they don't even...
Yeah,
mean?
like,
They
oh, like,
gotta-
what's your handle? And then, okay. And then now that you have each other's handle, you can just go back, and when you're back in the comfort of your own home, you can text or chat or whatever. It's not even like, hey, can I get your number? Or, so that we can go out sometime. It's not even like that. Come on, this is not news.
It's news to me.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, they have like, whatever, all these like different little ways of going around about it. So you don't have to actually ask for a number.
That's bizarre.
It's weird. But I guess that's how they get to know each other before then doing stuff in person. But what would you say are like, the old school way now, right? We don't know what kids are doing nowadays. But what's like some of the I don't know, etiquette with your background and you growing up in the UK and stuff and
On dating.
yeah.
Nah. Old school dating.
Yeah. Give me some tips or how do people how do people how did people date back when you were growing up there over in the UK?
Was it a piece of paper with 2 boxes that said sign yes or no, will you go out with me, that you passed to a friend?
That's grade
Kind of.
school. That's
Yeah.
grade school. But like actual like dating, like say even like asking for like a number, asking to go out on a date, a
When
meeting.
you send your friend over, hey Sarah, go ask that guy if he wants to go out and play some pool somewhere.
That's-
Please.
That's what it was? Or that's what
Kind
you
of.
did?
No. I didn't actually ask anybody ever out.
Wow.
Funnily enough. Not bragging or anything, but I just never did.
Well, how did people ask you
Approach
out?
me?
Yeah.
You want to go out for a drink? Sure. Where are we going?
Would you always say sure? What if you weren't
No.
interested?
Then I'd say, I don't think so. When is it? Oh, I've got a headache. I mean, I'm busy. So it's either a yes or no, right? Obviously.
Obviously.
You make up little excuses, little lies, little white lies if
I
you don't want to
know.
go.
It's so hard because it's kind of like the people that don't get the hint, right? It's kind of like you're like, no thanks, or you have to say something like, oh, I've already got a boyfriend or whatever. I'm already seeing somebody. And it can, well, can I still get your number? We can still be friends. And it's like,
Don't think so.
I know, they don't get the hint. It's rough.
Yeah, can be.
It's rough being cute.
So, what's today's dating rules then? What are the rules for dating?
Well, there's a list here of like just kind of general, and you think it's like common sense, right? But I don't know, maybe like kids nowadays they don't think about these things.
So, is this for everybody, or just is this like in general, or is it like for kids? Is it a certain age?
No, this is like in general.
Okay,
Be on time. That's important.
it is important. Would that be the rule number 1? First rule?
I don't think it's necessarily in any particular order, but
Okay.
these are the rules, right?
All right.
It says be open-minded,
Okay.
be honest, be interested, listen.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, like who would have thought, right?
Right.
Ask questions. So, that's like common sense. Engage, right?
Right.
Talk to the person. Be aware of body language.
Okay.
Some people are clueless when it comes to body language, right? Dress appropriately. That's a good one.
Okay.
Depending on where you're going.
Depending on where you're going, you don't really want to wear a bathing suit to movie theater.
The activity that you're doing, right? And it says pick a comfortable location. So that's a good one. Like nothing like too maybe like overstimulating or over, pick a comfortable location. So I guess also if it
usually
doesn't work
dinner.
out, right?
Yeah.
This is probably a newer one for people nowadays, but the last thing on this list is put your phone away. That would not have been on a list like 20 years ago. Yeah.
Right.
So
Right.
then there's like just some more like little tips, but those were like the rules,
Certain rules, because I have a batch of rules that I saw when I was doing a little bit of searching in this. Let me see on my first rule that I found was date multiple people. That was rule number 1.
What?
Date multiple people. Really, because you don't want to, you don't want to invest in one person who's not really invested in you. So if you're like coming out of a relationship, you don't just want to dive straight back into one, right? You just want to like play the field a little bit, give yourself a little bit of fun. That's what this person's saying anyway.
Wow.
Don't dive straight back in. Look around.
This person, who, Edith?
I don't know where these rules came from. They're not mine.
Yeah.
They are not my rules. I'm not saying I agree with them. These are just what I read. So, play the field.
Okay.
Number 2, keep dates short. Up to like 90 minutes or something. You don't want to also, like, you could go out and you have a good time, like you go for dinner, and then after dinner you decide, oh, let's go play a little bit of pool, and then you go, oh, see a movie, and you do a whole bunch of things in the one evening. It's like, ugh, that's a little too much, right?
I guess. Even if you're having a good time?
If you're having a good time, then that's, you just have the fun.
No,
but,
you should keep it short, because it keeps them wanting more.
Keep it short. Okay, number 3, be upfront about wanting a relationship.
Or not wanting a relationship.
Or not wanting a relationship.
But if you don't want a relationship, then you're not dating, right? That's the whole point of it.
That should be the point of dating, I think. I mean,
because if you just want to be like friends or hang out with people,
then you just hang out with people.
Yeah, then you just have friends.
Call a few people up. Hey, I'm
Right.
going here. You want to come?
Right.
Let's hang. All 7 of us. Right?
What else?
Yeah. Okay. Number 4, avoid talking about exes on the first date. That's a given.
Yeah, that's
Don't
common
talk
sense.
about them at
That's
all.
a good rule.
It is a good rule.
You know what?
I
That's
don't think I heard it in yours. Was it in yours?
It wasn't.
It
But I was
wasn't.
going to say that's actually a good rule, even in marriage.
Right? In life.
In life,
Don't
bring
talk
up
about your exes. Forget about them. Number 5, pay more attention to follow through than advanced planning. If you say you're going to go on a date, go. Be there.
Okay.
Plan it. I said be more aware of follow through than advanced planning. When you want to plan it more than just show up somewhere. Hey, I was in a bar the other day and I heard your friends talking saying you were coming tonight, so I just thought I'd be here. Want a date? Does that work? No? Okay. So, pay more attention to follow through than advanced planning. That's
Be a
number
stalker.
5.
Be a stalker. That's how you date.
Number 6, don't feel obligated to send a thank you text. I mean,
What?
I don't know about that. If
Yeah.
you're having a good time and you finish the evening, I'm sure you're saying thank you when you're leaving, right? You
It's
don't
like a job
really have to
interview.
say
That's what
thank
dates
you
are.
a few days later. Thanks for that. That was great.
Even if you didn't have a good time, I think it would be courteous, right? Unless it was like just flat out horrible. But like even if it wasn't like the best and you didn't like mesh, I think it would still be nice to shoot like a thank you, like, hey, thanks for.
Well, you say that when you're leaving, right?
I guess.
At the end of the night, at the end of the day, you're like, thanks, that was fun. Have a nice life. Or I see you again. Right?
Okay.
You would at the end. All right. Number 7. Give 2 weeks to reach out again.
Oh, I don't know.
2 weeks
that.
a long time.
Yeah, that's a long time.
It is, right?
Yeah.
2 weeks. I'm on another 4 dates by then.
I found someone else.
Right? Sorry. You snooze, you lose.
Right.
All right.
Wow.
Number 8. Wait at least a few days to have sex.
Well, I would say that's a given too.
I would say that's a given. I would wait until marriage.
Kids.
Or maybe the day before marriage, because then you can always change. You won't wait until marriage,
Yeah.
children. All right. Number 9. Don't freak out about who pays. Who pays? Do you go Dutch?
But what's the freaking out part? Who would
I don't
freak
know.
out?
I don't know. Maybe if you went out on a date, you'd be paying, and the guy would be like, "Hey, you're not paying. It's my job."
I guess
And
it
then
just there's so many variables with that one because it depends on the activity, maybe like whose idea it was. You know what I mean? Like like if someone asked me out on a date and then we're like, yeah, and then he came up with the activity and it's like, say, jumping out of a plane, well, that's a little pricey. You know what I mean? So because it was his suggestion, I would probably think that
he's paying.
Kind of, but we would talk about it or at least kind
Yeah.
of sort it out a little
beforehand.
bit. Yeah.
That would go back to number 8, was it? Or 7 or whatever
the whole
it was
commitment
about.
thing, whatever.
Well, planning, 5.
Right. But if it's like casual and we're just meeting up for like drinks or dinner, that's not too much of a big deal if the check comes and I ask to contribute, or if I was gonna pay and then not on first date. I'm kind of traditional about that.
Right.
Just but not like sexist or anything like that, but whatever. But it's just there's a lot of variables. Depends on what we're doing.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Number 10. Feel free to do some of the planning yourself, as opposed to leaving it all to them to plan what you're going to do on the date.
I might have suggestions, but if that person asked me, then it's kind of like they obviously have something in mind, or they should. I don't know. The viewers can like chime in on stuff like this because this is just our opinions. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You again, you're planning stuff, so
right.
You'd put your input in. Not gonna go. I'm not gonna go scuba diving at all.
No, but like if the guy's like, hey, let's go on a picnic to the park, then I might have like ideas like, oh, let's get some cheeses or let's get grapes, but it's his idea, so let him
fill the basket.
Correct. Okay. Fill the basket.
Speaking of filling the basket, the last thing on the list is eat whatever you want, which would be the whole basket in your case, right?
Yeah.
Eat the whole basket if you want it, Thuy.
I'm a little bit self-conscious with that because, thank God, not anymore. But like on a
now you eat everything.
Yes. On a first date, I'm just like,
I just want a little bit of lettuce, please. No, bring me a steak, potatoes, eggs, and the dessert menu. I'll be looking through that while I'm having my dinner.
Yes. And I'll be hungry half hour later when we're watching the movie. We're still getting popcorn.
Plan on some more dessert.
See, she knows me. I eat a lot. Well, that's funny because you're saying how like, with your growing up, okay, let's play some pool or let's like this and that. This is like still a thing. I promise you. I'm not even like exaggerating, but with like, well, I can't speak for like other Asian cultures, but in my family, they still kind of do like almost like a casual arrangement. It's not like it's official, but they're always like, okay, so what about the Lee boy? He's in high school and he's gonna go to school for like engineer, and you're like, I'm 12, and you're like planning like my wedding and stuff to this boy who's in high school who
don't even know my name.
Yeah, but you know what? He wants to be an engineer when he gets older, and and their family they're good people, and and it's like, what? I'm just like concerned about playing hide and seek and playing tag with my brothers in the backyard, but they do stuff like that. They'll make comments at dinner, and it's like, wow, we're still doing like the arranged marriage thing. So that's like one example, but it's nuts. But countries like India and stuff still do it too.
Dowries and things.
Yeah. They think about it. They think about like not just the kid, but their families, their background, and their upbringing. Oh, okay, yeah, they're good people. They're a good family. Yeah, we could be in-laws with them. It's like, what? And then I would joke. I would tell Ashley, I'm like, you're lucky that I don't do that crap. Because it's like, that would be horrible.
That would be horrible for Ashley.
Yeah. You kids nowadays with your dating and everything, you have it so easy.
They do. We
had arranged marriages. I have like these little quirky little things about first date etiquette or the culture in other countries.
Okay.
And one thing, which is a stark contrast to Asian dating, Asians, like, it's like a year before you hold hands, in very conservative families, it's like, okay, you've been together for a year. Okay, you can hold hands now.
Only when we're here.
But yeah, but countries like Brazil, PDA is like supposedly off the chart. You know, they kiss passionately in public
Everywhere.
or everywhere.
Down
Yeah,
the street at the corner store.
and you know, it's like, oh, we just met. Places like the United Kingdom, you can you know, chime in if this is true or not. I guess like most first dates are usually centered around drinking and a pub.
Yeah.
Is that true?
Yeah.
That's like the go-to
Yeah.
default.
You'll go to a pub somewhere, have a drink, a beer garden, or just a little hovel.
You know, and that like, I guess like a lot of it is like that in the US too. It's kind of like a default, you know.
Yeah.
But there's so many activities that you can do. People have to get like creative though. I mean, don't get me wrong, like that's cool if they do that. I certainly, you know, frequent those places and I've been there on like dates and stuff. But there's so many other things that you can, and so many other places you can go to get to know somebody. It doesn't have to like center necessarily around like a pub where it's noisy.
You can go to a library where it's quiet.
And then you have to talk like this.
Yes.
What's your middle name?
Penelope.
What's your favorite color?
Orange.
No. Places like I was gonna say places like Russia. I guess it's very traditional. And again, you know, if there's any Russian viewers out there or people who know about Russian culture, you can tell us if this is true or not. But I guess the men are very generous and they're supposed to kind of be generous from like the get-go. So on the first dates, they kind of, you know, make sure like they take care of everything. And it's like traditional to get like a bouquet of flowers to present it, which I think that's nice.
On the first date?
Mm-hmm.
That's nice.
And I guess
find a Russian.
they always have to give the bouquet in an odd number of flowers because the woman completes the bouquet with her beauty.
And that's even.
Right. That, you know, I
That's
just think stuff like that. Yeah, stuff like
interesting.
that's cool, right?
Mm-hmm.
Places like Japan. So again, just in general, the whole Asian culture. So it's like conservative and whatnot. But I actually know some Italian families that do this too. But places like Japan, their first dates are normally not one-on-one. It's usually a group thing. I'm like, oh, okay, that's a little bit of a cop-out, but I get it because it's a nice icebreaker.
Yeah,
it's a nice kind of...
a little bit of security.
Yeah, and you can do like activities that you wouldn't be able to if you were just like one-on-one, like if you're playing a game or if you're doing like a sport.
Paintballing.
Right, right. So that helps to, I guess, like break the ice a little bit. But I guess that's common in Japan. However, just like other Asian cultures with PDAs, it's very
still
frowned
going to take
upon.
a year for them to hold hands.
Yes. Yes. And then, yeah, I guess like places like Iceland and maybe some other Nordic Scandinavian countries, I guess like they don't really use the phrase like dating or going out because I guess they don't want to like label stuff. So maybe it's more of just like a hanging out. It's like a more generic.
And that would be in a group setting again, or what?
Probably, but
With
they just
more
don't want to
people.
put the labels on the whole, you know, if you're getting to know each other, you're getting to know each other, but it's not necessarily like a date. So, yeah.
Interesting.
What's like one of the worst first dates that you've ever been on?
First dates that I've been on that went badly.
Or maybe you've never been on one. Maybe they were all wonderful.
I can't think of one offhand.
Okay.
Not offhand, I can't think of a bad date.
I mean, like,
Not that I want to tell you about.
what about like, I guess like any weird or quirky things that happened to you on a first date or funny?
No,
Just standard, huh?
just basic, yeah.
Wow.
Nothing interesting, nothing crazy, no psychopaths, no people who did this after every sentence. Do you like cheese? Yeah, I do. Nobody like that. What about yourself? The worst first date you've ever had, if you ever had one.
I don't think I've been on like, you know, like bad ones because it's kind of like if you weren't interested in the person, then you wouldn't have been like going on the date, right? You would have made
right.
an excuse. But it was like there was one first date that it was weird in the sense that I didn't really like remember him. Like I kind of did, but it was kind of like some time had passed and it was like, "Oh yeah." Right? And then whatever, we saw like a movie and stuff, but there was just no like chemistry. So that was it. I mean, we texted for a little bit afterwards, but it just wasn't there. So it was like weird.
One day, I remember now, this was here in Sarasota when I first moved here. Some guy asked me out, wanted to go out on a date. I'm like, okay, yeah, we can go. Let's go get some drinks and stuff. I'll meet you whenever. And by the time I met up with him, which was an early meeting, it was like 7 o'clock or something that we met.
Wow.
And by the time I met up with him, he was nearly blathered already.
Why?
And I found out later, he told me a little while later, like I saw him, because obviously it didn't go well. Because he was drunk and I was embarrassed and he was falling all over and stuff, so. But I found out a little later that he was nervous, so he had some shots before we went out. He said he was nervous, and I felt bad after finding out the reason. Like, I was shocked that he was nervous. I don't know why. I mean, we were out playing pool all the time, you know.
Okay, so maybe that was...
I don't know. We were just talking about that. If you know someone, if you hang out with them and then you go out on a date.
Right.
Apparently you do get a little nervous.
I guess. Again, it's not like necessarily like bad, but when I had first met Daniel, like it was not really like a first date. It was like we had met because I was on a bridge. Like I was kind of like, well, I was kind of like doing the whole new thing a week, and I still do it, right? But it was like kind of like the beginning, the first couple beginning years. So it was just kind of really pushing myself to like do like these things I don't normally do. Like I don't take a walk on the Ringling Bridge. I don't take walks.
And that's what you did? You were walking on the bridge?
Yeah. So I was like taking a walk on a bridge, and he like talked to me. He started talking to me about...
He was
like,
walking on the bridge too?
I guess he
in the same direction?
He was going to be, yeah. Like we weren't walking the bridge yet. Like I was getting out of the car to get ready to walk the bridge at that little parking area at Marina Jacks.
Okay.
And I guess he had just arrived too. Like I'd gotten in my car and I'm getting ready to go walk the bridge. And again, I don't like do stuff like that. Like I don't walk the bridge. Like right. So it was something that he kind of at that time he did it pretty normally. He did it regularly. He lived at the marina.
Right.
And you know, so it wasn't like it wasn't like unusual for him to like do it. So it was just like another walk or whatever. And he starts talking to me about the boats in the marina and pointing out stuff. And I was kind of like, okay, whatever. I was like, at first I was kind of like, I don't care, right? But whatever. He was like a nice dude and stuff. And then he was like, oh, mind if I join you? And I was like, okay.
You just did already.
Right.
I mean, you've been talking for the last 20 minutes. I don't know if you've noticed or not, but
I was just kind
here
of
you are.
Right. So I was like, whatever. So then we walked and stuff. And I'm like I wasn't out of shape, but I've never like done that. So I'm like,
I'm kind of like, are you okay? Should I call a doctor?
At some parts he was, but it was funny. But that's kind of like, so we just started talking. He wasn't like a creep or anything, because otherwise I would have been like, no, that's okay, or no, I'm meeting somebody or whatever, right? But at the end of it, so he this is my whole point, right? It was almost like, and I told him, he's like, whatever. But I think it was a little bit of a cop-out because he didn't want to ask for my number. So he said, oh, you know that boat I was talking to you about, like the Formosa? He's like, tell me your number. I'll send you a picture of it. And I'm like, I can just look it up on the internet. I don't care that much. He's like, yeah. He's like, and he was just insistent, like, yeah, just, what is it? And he's just like, he's not looking at me. He's just like waiting for me to give my number. So I'm like, all right.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So
he got ya.
So then that's how I got my number. And then he would just start like texting like, hey, hope you have a great day. Or, hey, just
saying hi.
Yeah. So
he remember me? That guy you went for a walk with?
Right. He was just checking, and I thought that was like nice because he was just like, hey, hope you have a great day. Whatever that you're doing today, going to work or whatever, He didn't wait 2 weeks. So we just started talking, and then we would just call each other on the phone, and then he would meet me at I'd be like, hey, you want to go to Starbucks? Because I'm about to, go for a Starbucks run. And he'd say, yeah. And then I find out, like, later on, he doesn't even drink tea or coffee. He was just going just to, like, meet me.
Yeah.
So.
That's funny.
Yeah.
That's cute.
But it was a cop-out. He didn't ask for my number. Just ask. It shows that you're interested.
Well, all the text after they got your number showed he was interested. The ring on your finger showed he was interested.
That means nothing.
I think.
So I wonder about, like, how many of you have also maybe had, like, a weird first date experience that you could share with us, because I think that we would like to hear about them. And
Funny ones would be good.
Yeah. Funny, unusual, just weird. Not necessarily
weird.
Bad,
Yeah, bad too. Bad too. Send bad ones too. We like bad.
Or ones that maybe turned out great, and then you ended up
marrying them like Thuy did.
Well, at one point, the person you marry, you have to, like, have gone on to a first date with them.
Okay, all right, I suppose, yeah. Makes sense. It does make sense. I spoke before I thought.
Edith just wants to always argue with me.
No, okay. No, you were arguing with me then. I can't say you would just set me straight, but whatever.
Edith.
Yes?
I hope that the people had fun listening to us.
I do too.
Chit-chat today.
It was fun talking to you.
You could find us on any major listening platforms such as YouTube, Spotify,
Instagram, Twitter.
Find us. Talk to us.
Tell us things.